Hello students, let's do some examples of Banach space. I told you what is Banach space. Any complete norm-linear space is Banach space. What is Banach space? Any complete normed space is Banach space, where completeness is in the sense of metric. That means any space in which every Cauchy sequence converges is said to be complete norm space. So let's do one example in which we will see that the space Rn and Cn, that is Euclidean space and unitary space of all n tuple x of real and complex numbers are Banach spaces under the norm norm is defined like this, where norm x is equal to summation mod xi square raised to power 1/2. इसमें हमें प्रूव करना है कि Rn यानी यूक्लिडियन स्पेस एंड Cn यानी यूनिटरी स्पेस जो है वो Banach स्पेसेस हैं. अब Banach स्पेस बताना है तो हमें ये बताना पड़ेगा कि ये कंप्लीट नॉर्म स्पेसेस हैं. कंप्लीट नॉर्म स्पेसेस बताने के लिए पहले तो इन्हें नॉर्म स्पेस बताना पड़ेगा और फिर कंप्लीट बताना पड़ेगा. तो नॉर्म स्पेस बताने के लिए हमारे पास एक नॉन एम्प्टी सेट और एक नॉर्म फंक्शन डिफाइंड होता है. तो इसमें नॉन एम्प्टी सेट Rn या Cn है और नॉर्म हमें इस तरीके से डिफाइंड है. इसमें हमें फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हमारा x होता x1 और x2 तो नॉर्म x क्या होता? नॉर्म x होता मॉड x1 स्क्वायर प्लस मॉड x2 स्क्वायर का स्क्वायर रूट. अगर x1 x2 x3 होता तो फिर थर्ड ट्यूपल यानी मॉड x3 का मॉड का स्क्वायर और वो भी उस सारे का स्क्वायर रूट होता. सो इन दिस क्वेश्चन वी हैव x विच इज n ट्यूपल और हमें बताना है कि ये जो स्पेस Rn और Cn है ये नॉर्म स्पेसेस हैं. तो नॉर्म स्पेसेस बताने के लिए हमें ये चेक करना पड़ेगा कि ये नॉर्म x चारों कंडीशंस को सेटिस्फाई करती है. नॉर्म कोई भी फंक्शन को नॉर्म कब कहते हैं? अगर वो फंक्शन चार कंडीशंस को फुलफिल करता है. पहली कंडीशन होनी चाहिए कि नॉर्म x इज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 0 फॉर ऑल x एज मॉड x I इज ऑलवेज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 0 फॉर ऑल I. किसी भी नंबर का मॉड हमेशा पॉजिटिव होता है. अगर ये सारे पॉजिटिव हैं तो इन सभी का सम क्या होगा? इनफैक्ट इनके स्क्वायर का जो सम होगा दैट विल बी पॉजिटिव. दिस इम्प्लाइज दैट स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ एनी पॉजिटिव नंबर इज पॉजिटिव. सो दिस नंबर इज पॉजिटिव. And what is this? This is norm x. Hence norm x is greater than equal to 0 for all x belonging to Rn or Cn. Whatever will be asked in the question, it may be Rn or Cn, you will write accordingly. Second point, second condition which should be satisfied is that norm x equal to 0 implies both ways that x is equal to 0. For that, let's take any point x belonging to the given set. It may be Rn or Cn. So let x is equal to x1, x2 up to xn. where x1, x2, xn are all real or complex depending upon Rn or Cn. So let norm of this x is equal to 0. This implies both ways that summation I varying from 1 to n mod xi square raised to power 1 by 2 is equal to 0. This implies both ways that mod xi is equal to 0 for all I varying from 1 to n. This implies both ways that xi is equal to 0 for all I varying from 1 to n. This means x1 0, x2 0, xn 0. So x is a x which is equal to x1, x2, xn, that will be 0 vector. So mod norm x equal to 0 implies both ways that x is equal to 0. So second condition is satisfied for a function to be norm. For third property, let's take two elements x and y. So x is equal to x1, x2, xn, and y is equal to y1, y2, yn. Consider norm x plus y. What it will be? This will be equal to summation I varying from 1 to n mod xi plus yi square whole power 1 by 2. And what it will be equal to? This will be equal, this will be now which inequality we will use? You must have remembered we had done one inequality which was Minkowski's inequality. What Minkowski's inequality said? I will write over here. According to Minkowski's inequality, we had proved that norm x plus yp is less than equal to norm xp plus norm yp. Okay, and or we had proved that what was norm x plus yp? That was summation xi plus yi raised to power p whole power 1 over p, and what is that? That was less than equal to mod xi raised to power p whole power 1 over p plus summation I varying from 1 to n mod yi raised to power p whole power 1 over p. So this was Minkowski's inequality. We will apply this result over here because in this result we will have, if we compare these two, we have 2 in place of p. So by Minkowski's inequality, this is less than or equal to summation I varying from 1 to n mod xi square whole power 1 by 2 plus summation I varying from 1 to n mod yi square whole power 1 by 2. So we have applied the result of Minkowski's inequality. So what is this? This is norm x and this is norm y. So this is equal to norm x and plus norm y. So we have norm x plus y is less than or equal to norm x plus norm y, which proves the triangular's inequality. Last point is norm alpha x. Norm alpha x is what? By the definition of norm, this will be equal to summation I varying from 1 to n mod alpha xi square whole power 1 by 2. This is equal to what? This is equal to summation I varying from 1 to n mod alpha square into mod xi square whole power 1 by 2. And you know that mod alpha square is what? We can take this mod alpha square out of the summation, and because whole power is 1 by 2, so we will take mod alpha out of the summation. So this will be the term we will be left with, that is mod alpha into summation I varying from 1 to n mod xi square raised to power 1 by 2, that is mod alpha into norm x. So clearly all four properties are being satisfied in this non-empty set Rn or Cn with the norm defined like this. So we can say that Cn and Rn, that means unitary space and Euclidean space, are normed spaces. Now we have to prove that, we are left to prove that Cn and Rn are Banach spaces. For Banach spaces, it is important to prove that it is we will prove that are complete norm spaces. For completeness, what we need to prove? We need to prove that every Cauchy sequence in Cn and Rn converges to an element of Cn and Rn. For that, let sequence Xn be a Cauchy sequence in Cn and Rn. Because this is a Cauchy sequence in Cn, so therefore Xn will, in each Xn there will be ordered n tuples. So that means Xn can be of like this: Xn1, Xn2 and Xn, let it be m. So Xm1, Xm2 and Xmn. That means if we take X1, so X1 will have ordered n tuple, X2 will have ordered n tuples, X3 will have ordered n tuples. So for convenience we have taken Xm, and Xm is further having ordered n tuples. That means Xm is equal to Xm1, Xm2 and Xmn. Now what is this? This is a Cauchy sequence. And what is Cauchy sequence by definition? By definition of Cauchy sequence, for given epsilon greater than 0, there exists positive integer m and n So by definition of Cauchy sequence, for given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a positive integer n such that norm xm minus x, let it be t, less than epsilon for all mt greater than equal to n. Or we can write it, how we can write it like? We can write it like this: norm xm minus xt tends to 0 as m and t tends to infinity. So we have applied the definition of Cauchy sequence. Next, how we have defined norm x summation I varying from 1 to n, summation xi square raised to power 1 by 2. When we have taken difference of these two members of the given space, it will be like this: mod xmi minus xti square whole power 1 by 2 tends to 0 as m and t tends to infinity. Means if xm is this, what will be xt? Xt will be xt1, xtn. So xm minus xt will be difference of xm 1 minus xt1 means it will be difference of corresponding elements, corresponding coordinates. xm2 minus xt2 like this. So when we take norm of this xm minus xt, so it will be this will be in modulus this term's square. Similarly, plus in modulus this term with square, and up to nth term in mod with square and whole power 1 by 2. So we have used the definition, how we have defined the norm. If some square root of this term tends to 0, that means the term itself without square root tends to 0, as m and t are indefinitely large. When sum of n terms approaches to 0, that means all the terms in the sum tends to 0 for all I varying from 1 to n. When in modulus square of a modulus term tends to 0, this means mod xmi minus xti square without square it will tends to 0 for all I varying from 1 to n. What we observe from here? You know that if xm belongs to Rn, then this all the ordered n tuples are real numbers. If this element belongs to Cn, then all these are complex number. So in both cases, these xmi and xti are real or complex numbers. So this is a Cauchy sequence in C or R. This implies this xmi is a Cauchy sequence in C और R. डिपेंड्स कि कौन सा स्पेस है. अगर यहाँ पर xm माइनस xt, जब हमने कॉशी सीक्वेंस Cn और Rn में ली थी तो डेफिनेशन क्या लगाई थी? xm माइनस xt टेंड्स टू 0 एज mt टेंड्स टू इन्फिनिटी. अब क्योंकि xm I माइनस xt I टेंड्स टू 0 है, इसलिए xm I इज ए कॉशी सीक्वेंस इन C और R, एंड सेट ऑफ कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर एज वेल एज ऑफ रियल नंबर इज ए कंप्लीट सेट. दैट मीन्स ये जो स्पेस है, ये जो मेट्रिक स्पेस है, ये हमेशा ही कंप्लीट स्पेस होता है. सो बिकॉज C और R is complete, therefore every Cauchy sequence in C or R converges to a point of C और R. क्योंकि कंप्लीट स्पेस में जो Cauchy सीक्वेंस होती है वो उसी स्पेस के एक एलिमेंट को कन्वर्ज करती है, इसलिए ये जो Cauchy सीक्वेंस है, देयरफॉर ये वाली जो भी Cauchy सीक्वेंस थी xmi, ये भी C और R के एक एलिमेंट को कन्वर्ज करेगी. कन्वर्जेस टू अ पॉइंट ऑफ C और R. Therefore, there exists some, हमें नहीं पता कौन से पॉइंट को कन्वर्ज करती है, तो हम वो पॉइंट xi अज्यूम कर लेते हैं कि ये जो सीक्वेंस xmi है वो xi को कन्वर्ज करती है. तो ये अगर C में Cauchy सीक्वेंस है तो ये C के एलिमेंट को कन्वर्ज करेगी, अगर ये R में है तो ये R के एलिमेंट को कन्वर्ज करेगी. तो xi belongs to C or R depends, but this sequence xmi converges to xi. This therefore limit m approaches to infinity, xmi tends to xi for every I varying from 1 to n. चाहे वो xm1 है, चाहे वो xm2 है, ये सारे के सारे जो रियल या कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर्स की सीक्वेंस है वो कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंगली किसी सी या आर के एलिमेंट को कन्वर्ज करेगी. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव ऑब्टेन्ड टिल नाउ. अगर ये इसको कन्वर्ज करती है, देयरफॉर एक्स एम लिमिट m approaches to infinity which is xm1 xm2 up to xmn. x limit m approaches to infinity. xm अगर m इंफिनिटी को अप्रोच करता है तो xm1 x1 को कन्वर्ज कर रही है. xm2 x2 को, सिमिलरली xn को कन्वर्ज कर रही है. तो वी आर गेटिंग सम एलिमेंट x विच इज बिलोंगिंग टू Cn. बिकॉज ये C है, ये C है, ये C है, तो ये x किसको बिलोंग करता है? Cn को. अगर ये सारे R है तो ये Rn को बिलोंग करता है. देयरफॉर लिमिट m अप्रोचिंग टू इन्फिनिटी xm इज इक्वल टू x बिलोंगिंग टू Cn और Rn. देयरफॉर अब ये क्या थी? ये Cn में या Rn में कॉची सीक्वेंस थी. ये जिस एलिमेंट को कन्वर्ज कर रही है, ये जो सीक्वेंस कॉची सीक्वेंस थी, वो क्या हो रही है? वो Cn के एक एलिमेंट को या Rn के एक एलिमेंट को कन्वर्ज कर रही है. अगर ये सीक्वेंस इसको कन्वर्ज कर रही है तो इस देयरफॉर एवरी कॉची सीक्वेंस इन Cn और Rn converges to an element of Cn or Rn. Therefore Cn or Rn is complete. Therefore Cn or Rn is Banach space.